Very good. Okay, very good.
All right, we got a Hard Factor morning update. We record at night, so we don't always hit everything right on time. And this time, it's a big morning update, boys. President Trump, Melania Trump, COVID positive.
So. First fucking day of October. This October is going to be insane. 2020 is going to end crazier than it started. What the fuck? What?
Yeah, were you guys on Twitter when it happened? I was late to the party.
I was the only
so
host I think awake.
So what happened right in the moment? Like it was just an explosion of tweets because I saw the aftermath exploded. Was crazy.
Well, we have a text thread with the Hard Factor host and the interns, and it's a very politically charged text thread. It's not for the faint of heart. And we were talking about all things political right before, like the Melania Trump getting like recorded by one of her aides for talking shit about Christmas or whatever, and like the kid she was trying to reunite with. And
right.
We're talking about her picks.
I started watching a show. I started watching The Boys right after that, and so I missed the moment.
I have to watch that. I was still looking at the political stuff. I should have been watching The Boys, but then we talked about Hope Hicks a lot, obviously, because she was positive, and then I started going down a rabbit hole, and I read one of our friends Roger's tweets, and he was like, "Why wouldn't Trump like announce that he's negative if they have rapid tests?" And my head started spinning, and I texted you guys, and I was like, "I'm pretty sure Trump has corona. We're not going to get a second debate." And then 45 minutes later, he tweeted it out, and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah. When he tweeted it, then everybody the reactions have been hilarious because like a lot of people very fast to like dance on the grave, which I thought like as much shit as Trump has talked about coronavirus and masks, like, you know, he's obviously gonna reap what he sows there. So is what it is on that. But then I thought that maybe was like a little bit of an overreaction where everybody's like, oh, he's so fat and he's so disgusting and old that he's definitely gonna die, and that's probably not the case in my opinion. But
he's got the best doctors on his side, like Boris Johnson did. But he is old, he is overweight, which is a huge detriment to this, what could happen in this whole scenario. I think if the left keeps if the left decides to get real ugly, it's going to be real interesting to see where their high road actually is in all this.
Right.
Because if they attack him, an old man, the president, on his in a hospital bed, that's going to rally his base.
The immediate reaction, definitely, the knee-jerk reaction in hindsight is going to look a little crass. But Biden and Harris did come out and say, well wishes to Melania.
Yeah, that was classy.
Which I haven't seen if he's negative of COVID yet.
He's testing today. So Pence and his wife are negative. They came out today and said they tested negative.
Which is good because VP debate this week.
Huge. Yeah, now it's huge. The VP debate's huge, bigger than it was before. And like the head of the RNC, like a lot of people in Trump's circle are going to test positive. Hope Hicks. Trump, Melania, the head of the RNC. A lot of people that have been around him, like Mark Andrews or whatever, like all of his chief of staff, like all the people that were there and around him are probably going to test positive. But Pence is fine, which is good. Biden will find out, I guess, later today. And whoever came up with the no handshake rule at the debate is looking like a damn genius right now.
Oh yeah,
that was smart. And I agree. I think that there's no chance.
Well, in general, who's handshaking these days? Who's even elbow bumping? Honestly. Because really, like if you're really trying to avoid catching COVID, just like you maintain the 6 feet. Cartman had the stick in the South Park, thing.
The hands, exactly. You need the stick. The hand's dirtier than the mouth. But yeah, I mean, I think there's no chance in hell that he dies. The American people couldn't handle that in 2020. The president dying of COVID. He has
that
the
would
best
be wild.
doctors.
I also, I mean, like in my family, there have been some contractions, and people, in that age range with pre-existing conditions have been okay. And it hasn't been that bad. But, I think the big thing with Trump is like, how quickly can he start to recover? Because if it takes him a long time, they're only 30 days out from the election. So
timing's very interesting. I think we were talking about it this morning before this. I think aesthetically, it's not going to look good for him if they have to cancel the second debate based off of his COVID and his COVID only if Joe Biden tests negative. That doesn't look good for the campaign if he has to start canceling these big events because he has COVID a few weeks before the election. It's not great timing for him, in my opinion. Some people are saying maybe he's, going to rally the troops by recovering. And then I
think the only way that could be the case is if it's like actually just a publicity stunt. Because like if you're trying to do it this late,
the election, unless he's faking it, which I think is crazy. People that think he's going to die, I think, are as crazy as the people that think he's faking it. I don't think either of those.
There are that is out there though. That is out.
I mean, my cynical, skeptical mind definitely went there, but I mean, he definitely has COVID, and Melania definitely has COVID, and it's dangerous shit, man. I mean, he's got, he's got it's you got to
look at all the
think about his family. He's got grandkids. He's got kids. I mean, he's a guy with COVID.
It's for real.
Right now, he's a guy with COVID. Yeah.
Yeah,
he is. Guess what medicine he's going to start popping? It already has.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Hydroxychloroquine. I think that like the best case for him is that he smashes it early with hydroxychloroquine and then just comes out and brags about how his medicine that he was touting all along saved his life.
Right. Well, I think the early mail-in voting now hurts him though, because like.
Some states, if you have your ballots, you guys have ballots. I don't have them yet out here in Nevada, so I don't know what states already have ballots.
Texas is one of the 7 states Trump's going to be finding because Texas, you have to vote in person, and you can't even use COVID as an excuse for not voting in person. So like there are 7 states that this doesn't matter on, but the states you can mail in, this is a big deal.
Yeah, you gotta have no legs in Texas in order to get out of it.
It is. I think you're holding on to your ballot if you were undecided.
For sure.
That's for
sure.
You
don't have to mail it in this week, but you're definitely holding on to it.
Yeah. Or maybe some people just popping that Biden in there because they're like, even though he's older, he at least doesn't have COVID right now that I know of.
So they're saying he's got. They're saying the reports are that his symptoms are mild. I don't know if that can progress or whatever, but right now the immediate news is that mild.
What
symptoms,
are they gonna say? That he's got horrible symptoms? Then he'd be fucked. Like
I mean, it's gotta be.
It's a wait and see. It's a wait and see for sure.
It's got to be. Which brings up like though, how quickly is he going to be doing Zoom things? Because my estimation is that he's going to want to he's going to brand everything. He's Trump. So like if he could get on the hydroxychloroquine and be like taking selfies with the hydroxychloroquine box, like by like a couple days from now, that's going to be his ideal path. And then be giving like Zoom addresses, like from the Oval deathbed.
Oh, he will totally do that if he's feeling good. I'm trying to look on Twitter. He hasn't tweeted in 10 hours, so he tweeted out like at 1 a.m. right before.
Oh no,
he's not.
That's a long gap for him.
Yeah, he might. I mean, that's the thing is like once he starts tweeting again, then he's going to be doing fine, and he could obviously have someone like Scavino tweeting for him. But once he starts tweeting stuff like fuck
once he starts getting angry,
I want to do the second debate. Fuck this. Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean it's canceled? Like we can.
Anger is when he's getting better.
Once he starts being angry and aggressive, then he's doing fine, and he's gonna need to do that. I think, big time. He's gonna need to demand like the second debate and stuff like that. And
do you think that even if he does come out fine? I mean, the second debate is what a day after this quarantine is supposed to be over. Is Joe Biden?
Zoom would be his best hope. Like
Joe Biden's not going to want to get in the room with him for sure.
No.
I mean, Joe Biden's older than he is.
I don't think there is an end to the quarantine. It starts when he tests negative, right? So like, isn't that how it works?
Well, I guess they say like 14 days, but I mean, I think that if you were testing negative like multiple days in a row, you could probably. Work
to
something
wait a couple
out.
Days. Like I thought there was like a 7-day period after your night. I don't know. But,
regardless, they could push for like a remote debate, maybe.
Right. The third debate's in play. The second debate is officially not in person at this point.
Right. Yeah. Definitely not.
I think so.
But you could do worse than Melania and Hope Hicks as your recovery partners at home, just hanging out in the quarantine house. So.
Yeah.
Don,
you think they're all together?
I mean, well, you're all sick already. Do they separate you even if you're?
They should call her Hicks Hope. They should call her Hicks Hope, and that's not a knock on Hicks. She's very attractive.
She is.
She's a good-looking woman.
Oh, and we just got an update from Bubba. Thank you, Bubba, for hosting the StreamYard. Pelosi being tested now out of an abundance of caution, she says. And
because of the succession line, right? Which is crazy.
Yes, and then she also says because the tests coming out of the White House are not as accurate as they should be, so she's insinuating more people have COVID than is reported.
Well, that sounds to me like she's like, I want to be president. I don't think Pence is negative. Test him again. Like, what is that? That report's coming out. Come on.
Correct. Yeah. That's Pelosi being Pelosi. I mean, everybody's going to take.
She's excited today.
Everybody's going to take advantage of this. Right, just like the bettors. So let's look at the fucking markets. Like, the markets overnight went insane Biden favor. Like, everything shifted like 10 cents towards Biden. And
I lost some money.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people holding Trump in like swing states where they thought that swing state was going to swing red. That shit swung blue last night. and then a lot of well, me too for sure. And a lot of this morning, there's been a lot of people buying back in because those markets are Republican Party. Remember, not necessarily
correct
Trump winning.
Correct.
So I think that what I think at least is that Pence isn't necessarily like terrible like Biden. If Biden was like the strongest challenger ever, you'd say that like that this was a huge blow.
Well, everyone's counting their chickens, before they whatever. Like we have to wait and see with Trump. The guy is a stubborn son of a bitch. He's got the best doctors. He's not going to die. That's for sure. Just depending on how
feeling better a couple of days from now. You don't know.
Right. Exactly. So like
he doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink.
But then worst case scenario, if you had to invoke the 25th Amendment just because he's like, too ill to do his job, then like, yes, probably the election doesn't go well for the Republicans, but there are certain states that are still going to vote red, whether it's Pence or whoever they're.
Yeah, there's just not enough Democrats that live there.
Yeah,
there's no way 25th Amendment's coming into play.
You could see how many people register like for Republican Party and Democratic Party in the new registrations, and some of these states are just like 4-1 Republican. So it's like, why wouldn't you?
Right, the Dems aren't going to win just because Trump has COVID in some of those states. So bet with your head, not your heart, as always. If you're going to go to Predict It, and if you do go to Predict It, go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get a free $20 matched on us in the stock market of politics. But
we'll keep
anything else, guys?
No, I mean we'll keep updating as it breaks. It's just
Hey, he's our president. He's sick. I gotta rally behind him. I hope he gets better quickly. No matter what side you're on. Yeah.
Everybody who gets COVID. I mean, it's 2020. It's a horrible year. We're all fucking stuck inside because of COVID. Nobody's rooting for anybody to get sicker of COVID.
Oh, there are people out there that are right now for sure.
Don't
go on Twitter.
We're not among them.
We are.
We're not among them.
Yeah, I know.
So, all right. Yeah. Well, fuck, man. Hopefully. There's not as many injuries in football, right? Have a great fucking weekend.